Okay, yes, I think we're online again.
We're online again? Okay, great.
Sorry about that.
So we're just having some connectivity issues, but otherwise we're all good. Okay, cool. So let's just go ahead and build this thing. Okay, so I'm going to take a value over here, and I want to use this value to say which instrument we're selecting. So instead of going directly from this one to here, I'm going to go to here. Then I'm going to take a pass. So this is first going to go here, and then afterwards, this will send the value that it got through here. So then what we want to do here is we want to split those up again. So, okay, that's still a bug we need to take care of. There's sometimes when you spawn things, it does something funny. I'm not entirely sure what it's doing. But yeah, that's definitely something we need to fix. Okay, so now from this guy, I want to go here. And because these come in pairs of 2, so this guy, he's a lot like this guy. But as you can see, he doesn't have a knob here. So what he does is he just goes to the next one each time. So you can see he goes between 0 and 1 all the time. And because these always come in pairs, we can always know that the first one that we sent will come out here and the second one will come out here. So then what we can do is say, okay, so the first one we wanted to set the instrument selection, right? And the second one we wanted to actually go through here. So now what we should be able to do, say, okay, so now over here we're sending that we want instrument 0. That's not working. Okay, so this guy, he got offset. I just want to go to 0 here.
So there's 2 events being sent basically immediately just after one another.
Yes, exactly.
And, depending on the order of the dragging of the event connections, that dictates when the events are being fired in which order.
Yeah, that's a very good point. So you can see if I hold this guy like this, that these are next to each other. So the one closest is going to go first. So first is going to go here, get the 0, and send the 0 to here, which at this point will go here and set the 0. Then afterwards, he will go ahead and send to here, which will not get the 0. We'll just pass on whatever came in. And he will then go to this guy, who will go here and then be dispatched to the instrument that we want.
Send the MIDI value.
Yeah, and we'll send the MIDI value that goes to the right instrument. So if we have this at 0, we get this, but if we set this to 1, we get this. Okay, so now you might be wondering why is that useful, right? Because before we could do the same thing over here, now we do it over here. But the cool thing is that that now from here we could do something to it. So for example, if we take another thing that's generating MIDI events, let's say this guy, he's going to generate something. So for example, we could take a random, and we're going to go set this to about 24. So that's like 2 octaves. So we get a random value of 24, then and then I would like to add something to that. So I'm just going to add maybe maybe 60 to that to get it into a kind of normal MIDI range. So he's gonna have a random MIDI value, but I'd also like it to go to a random instrument. So what I can do is take another random over here. Oh, yeah, we need to look into that. So here I'm gonna select between instrument 0 and instrument 1. So what we're gonna do is first we select our instrument, right, and then we have this value go. So we take these guys up to the same thing, and this goes over here. So now if we did it correctly, that's not, oh, okay. So yeah, I made a mistake here. So this guy, he has 2 inputs. One corresponds to the button and one is the raw input. And I was meaning to connect these to the button because I was setting the value on the button. But what I was doing was connecting them to the raw input, which takes this 1 coming in. So we're always gonna select instrument 0. So I wanna put this here and this here. So now you can see that this can be a little module by itself doing random things. But this guy over here can be a module that we can independently set which instrument is being hit.
Right. So you've kind of got 3 different modules, I suppose, or perhaps 3.5, 4 different modules. You've got your sounds, or maybe those are individual modules, and then you've got this sort of dispatch little program you've made there that can sort of funnel things in different directions, and then you have 2 different controllers, one that is more like a traditional keyboard and one that's a little bit more like a fun random kind of contraption kind of thing, but they both use the same sound bank.
Yes, exactly. So this is one of the things that we want to use a lot, this idea that you can make something and then you can hook something else up to it, but they're quite modular. So you could take some sounds that you generated before, but then you could drive them by some new logic.
Yeah, and the cool thing is that you get to decide what kind of conventions and what kind of signals you use. Like we actually give you the power to make the system for this modular thing. So if you come up with a good idea of managing all this data and having these different modules, then you can design that yourself, which is quite cool, I believe. Like, so you could use a MIDI sort of you can use MIDI rules, or you can make some other rules that work better for you depending on the kind of setup you have. Like perhaps you want to control the decay of your sound, so then you'd need to add some more data to this whole setup.
Yes, definitely. So we have this little MIDI to frequency component, which makes it easy to work with MIDI values, but we're definitely not saying that you could only work with MIDI values. Like we actually really hope that people will come up with variations on MIDI. We were experimenting the other day with defining things in terms of steps within a scale, which then get translated to MIDI, which then get translated to frequency.
Yeah. So we have another question from Numeric Depiction.
Yes.
First of all, he says, thanks for the heads up regarding 3D audio not being on the roadmap for now. And then he asks, when an event is passed from a button to multiple places,
yes,
like the button you have here connected to the 2 random objects,
yes,
is the order of which random fires first defined?
Yes. Yes, so the order is defined by the button. So you can see here, oh, okay, we're having some tracking issues again. I'll just take this over here. Okay, so you can see here that that there's a little bit of space between these two. So you start counting from the component to away from the component. So this
Can you
one
look behind where there's some flat background. Like,
oh yes, yeah. Yes, definitely. Okay, so let me just. Okay, so you can see, so the one that's highlighted in white right now, that one's going to go first. So he's going to get, he's going to trigger this random, and then afterwards, this one is going to happen. Actually, this one will go. Everything connected to this will happen before we get back to have this ever happen. So this gets a value which goes here, which then goes here, which then goes here and sets this. And then after that, this happens. So then we get this, which goes here, which because this one now changed state, will go here and then go off to whichever one we selected.
Yeah, that was a really good question, because that's one of those subtleties that perhaps you don't always like need to understand, or like you can get started with MuX without thinking about those things, but you can definitely like at some point hit a wall where you're like, why isn't it behaving like I want it to? And that's because of this sort of ordering of the things. And there is a little bit of a visual cue, yeah, exactly as you showed there with the output.
Yes, and if you want to reorder them, for now at least, the way to do it is that you drag them in the order that you want them to happen. So if I first wanted 24 to happen, I drag this here, and then I drag this here. And if I first wanted 2 to happen, I drag this here, and then I drag this here.
So Numeric Depiction says, oh, thanks for that. I was also wondering how events down the chain were sequenced. So he was very happy with your answer. Yeah, basically, yes, you answered that one for me too. So he's satisfied with your answer.
Okay, great.
You're welcome, Numeric. Just ask whatever questions you might have.
Okay, cool. So I think it could be cool if we make like a little bit of a sort of step sequencer.
Yep, sounds like a good idea.
So, okay, so here we have a little bit of a choice, right? Because we're using these MIDI values, so we could do something that that starts making a melody, right? Or we could just have a more simple on-off step sequencer. Which one do you think we should go for?
I think we should go all out. I think we should go with the melody. Why not?
Okay, cool. Okay, cool. So let's do a melody thing. Okay, so if you want to specify like grids of numbers, you can do it using this guy. So this is a knob grid, so you can set all these individual knobs, and then you can get their values out. So you can input into this guy which row you want, and then afterwards you send an event here, and it's from the selected row. So let's say that we've selected row 1. Then if we were to take, let's just demonstrate this. Right, so then let's say that we want row 1, and then we would like, from row 1, we would like column 2. So let's just set this to something distinct. And then we go here. Okay, so now, if I did it correctly, when I fire this one should get set to 7. And that's what it does. So what I would like to do is use this to lay out a little bit of a melody for both of my instruments. So the way that I think I want to do it is I want to use this guy to indicate time, and I want to use this guy to indicate the instrument. So we're gonna make this 2 wide because we have 2 instruments, and then let's make it 8 deep, and then okay, let's just start by doing something simple so we know that it's actually working. So I'm just gonna have this count up, and then maybe then we go down again. So now what I would like to do is keep track of where I am with this one over time. So what I can do is I can use this guy. So this guy, he can count, but at some point he starts repeating himself. So we'll set this to 8 because we have 8 entries. And then if I hook something up to him like so, then you can see that he's counting through until he's going to go to 8. Instead of going to 8, he'll go to 0. So I could hook this guy up to here, and you can see we start going through this guy. And then, okay, so then what I could do is just, for now I'm just going to send 0 down this thing, so we just get column 0. So first we set this, right? This is an example of where the ordering is super important. So first we set this guy, and then we actually get the right number out of it. So okay, so then we kind of want to make this into more of a MIDI range again. So I'm just gonna add something like 60 to it. So now this is becoming more of a MIDI-like value. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the pass. I like using passes whenever I'm kind of bunching up these events. So, okay, so then I would like for this to go to instrument 0 and then send this value. And then this will go in here also. So now if I start hitting this, we can start hearing that we have kind of like a little melody going on, going up and then going down again. And of course we can change this to go to 1. And of course we can change over here how this goes. So I think the other one was kind of being a bit more melodious. Wait, that's not this. Sorry, this guy. Doesn't matter what we send here. This guy, he should go to 0. So right, what we could do is say we switch these around, and maybe we switch these around. So then, right, so then we go, let's reset this guy. So like this we can set him back to 0. So now we go. So not super interesting, but you get the idea. So now what we'd like to do is have that keep looping. So what we can do is use a metronome. That bug is really acting up a lot lately. So we can take a metronome. So the metronome, he will keep sending out events at a certain frequency. So right now we're just setting him to 1, and then I can put this here.
Got some rhythm now.
So now, perhaps we would like to be able to have some rests in here also. So what we could do is have a special value that indicates a rest. So for example, we could say -1 is a rest. And that might mess with us a little bit later in this instant, but let's just do it like this for now. Let's say these two I don't want to sound, right? I don't want them to be 59, I want them to not sound. So what we can do is we can compare this value. So I want to compare this to -1. And actually I want to know if I want to compare it so that this says if it's not -1. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a gate. So here, now actually the first thing that I want to do here is compare this against -1 and then set this gate. So this gate, he's going to pass events true whenever he's set to 1 and not pass events true whenever he's set to 0. Actually, he'll pass events true whenever he's set to anything except 0. So then what we can do is we can go about our thing as usual. So we go in here and no, maybe, you know what, maybe we'll right, we'll do this and then we'll send this guy first to the gate. So then if this wasn't -1, right, we go ahead and get this one and get this one.
Right, because the if doesn't output the value that it's been given, it outputs 1 or 0.
Yeah, so this,
whether that's true or false.
Yeah, so this guy compares. So we have two components that look similar, this guy and this guy, but they do something slightly different. So they both do a comparison, but this one outputs 0 or 1 for true or false, depending on whether the comparison evaluates true or false. But this guy, you can see that he has 2 output pins. So this is the true output pin, which sends whatever came in on this pin if it evaluated to true, and if it evaluates to false, then it will output here. So this is more like an if-else statement, and this is more like a simple comparison.
Right.
So, yeah, so I guess in this case, actually, we could substitute this. That would actually require fewer components. So we could get rid of this and say, okay, right, anything not -1, right, we're gonna go ahead and send. That's actually slightly neater.
Yeah.
So then we can go ahead here. Oh, okay, I see. I attached this to the wrong one, so now it's only outputting. Is it? Wait, what did I do wrong here? Curious. So if I take -1 here. Yeah, okay, so -1. Yeah, so -1. Wait, so -1 is not. This might have gotten messed up. Okay, so I think possibly these 2 ports are messed up. But I think this will give us the result that we want. We should look into that later, because I think we specified them the other way around. I think we specified that this is the false port, and that's not how it's working right now, unless I'm just messing up my Boolean logic, which is also possible. But let's try this. Yeah, that's more what I was going for. Okay, but we said that we want to be able to do both of these. So I would kind of like to be able to go in here, and right, and maybe I'll set most of them to -1. So I'll set most of these to -1, but maybe here I want to play that sound, and then let's say maybe here I want to play also a sound. So, but right now we're only inputting 0 here, so we'll never get to any of these. So actually what I want to do is every time we come here, I want to send a 0 and then I want to send a 1, because I want to check both of these. So we're going to use another component. This guy, he does precisely that. So he's going to just count up to whatever number we put here. So he's going to send a 0 and then send a 1. So we'll take this guy, plug him in here. Don't need this guy anymore. Put this guy in here. Actually, before we plug it in here, right, we want to set our instrument selection. So he's going to say instrument 0, and then he's going to get the value for instrument 0. Then he's going to say instrument 1, and then he's going to get the value for instrument 1. So now if we do this, so you can see how we can start using these knob grids to define some kind of like discrete sequence of events. All right. Yeah. So what, Hannibal, what do you want to do?
Well, I think I just feel like we should try to perhaps put some rhythm into this. Try to make a little bit more something that really resembles music. Like.
Yeah. Do you want to take over for a bit?
Yes, I can try to take over a little bit.
Okay. Cool.
Okay. You can hear what I'm playing on the little black headphones that I have over there, if you can fit them in your ears.
Yes.
So, you made quite the mess here, but thanks to our new moving feature from the newest patch yesterday, that's not a problem.
So maybe you can explain a little bit about that.
Right. So we had a few people who complained or who were a little unhappy because they couldn't reach a lot of the things in the tutorials and other things. Because some people have quite small. You can see we have pretty big office here where we can move around, but some people have small play spaces. So. Basically what we have done is yesterday we patched the game with a new feature, and it lets you move around in the space at will, basically. So it's a pretty liberating, it's a pretty cool feature. And the way you do it is if you're just standing somewhere and you're not touching any components with the tips of your controllers here, you touch down on your touchpad, and then you hold the side buttons, and then you can move around. So it's sort of a swimming gesture, but you get used to it pretty quickly, and it suddenly becomes quite a useful little feature. So this is what we've done for mobility in MuX right now. I mean, this is we have a lot of ideas, but I feel like this is a good way to just immediately allow people to move around. So. Right.
So we have another question.
Yes?
So, out of curiosity, that multi-knob device has one input that looks like it is for events and one that looks like it is for streams. that can also accept events. Is there a reason it isn't created with both inputs as events or both as stream inputs? It seems like the stream inputs are more flexible since they can work with either input types. So I think that's a really good question. And so the answer to that is that yes, they're definitely different and they behave slightly differently. So if you have a knob like the stream input type, then when you send an event to that, it acts the same as if you went with the controller and changed it. And then so then it will stay at whatever value was there. So for example, Hannibal, he can like he was like maybe you can look at something. So maybe look at the knob grid.
Yeah.
So okay, so you can see on the left there's the stream input. So this one, it keeps being set to 1. So here we could just choose to permanently have it be like this and just adjust it by hand, and then just send events to the other one. So in this one specifically, and in some of the other components, if you select with the stream, then it won't actually send anything. It will just remember that selection. It's only when you then go into the event input that we actually send out an event. And that's because if both of them would trigger an event being output, right, then if you want, say that you want like something at position 3, 4, but it was set to like to something else, then the first time you change something, you get a value that you don't want. So that's why we only made one of these inputs hot and just left the other one cold. So they are definitely acting differently, and yeah. So the stream inputs are stateful. They'll remember what was there, and the event inputs, they are more they're fleeting. Something will come in, and then like some events will get triggered, and then that event is gone. It's no longer in the world. So I'm hoping that let me know if that's a good explanation for your question. So what kind of components are you hooking up now, Hannibal?
Was that a question for me?
Yeah. So the one with the little light bulb one, I don't think we've introduced it yet.
Right. This is the nth NTH from that button there, and basically this guy he can take in a bunch of events, but he'll only pass every 4th event he receives. So this stream input basically dictates that, and that's quite convenient because then you can have an oscillator going at a really high rate. Let's say you want to keep track of a high granularity of time, but I want this drum beat only to hit like a quarter of that. So that's where an nth comes in, and it's really convenient. So I could, for example, define that I could, by doing this, I could actually move this one up to a really high BPM. So this guy doesn't go, this is not BPM, this guy is in seconds, right? So this is 16 beats per second, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. But it carries some usefulness, and also like if you want to have the same metronome running a bunch of different things, but you want those different things to not trigger on every time it hits, then you can sort of interpret the signal in different ways. So I like to just have a drum beat that can just sort of keep track of time for me. So I could, for example, if I took another nth and I bring that one down to 2, you can see that it does the same thing, just a little more often. So I kind of like these guys. This is not like having a sequencer is a little bit more of a dynamic way to work. But I think this is a good way to sort of demonstrate the power of the... And we're also reaching a point where managing your space is quite important. Okay. So let's make another, a little bit more of a bigger drum beat. So let's have another noise. Let's give it some kick, and add some voice to it as well. So oh, apologies. I can probably turn this guy. So I want to have this like more of a bass drum. Like that, I guess. I could add another dude here. So let's say I went to 16 on this guy. So we get a little bit more of a rhythm, I guess. Now the problem with these guys is you can only really do like, you can't do more advanced rhythms. So for that, another guy we could use for that, I guess, is the sort of knob guy. This is the toggle board, yeah.
Yes. So I think something that might also be cool to show is to use the cycle dispatch to do that. I think Edo's been finding that quite useful.
Yeah. Right, this guy, yeah.
Yes.
So
if you hook him up instead of one of the every nth, and
like this.
Yeah, exactly. And then if you were to take the first output, it would basically act as the every nth.
Right.
But then the other ones, they're all offsets.
Right.
So that's another way where you could quite quickly define some kind of more rhythmic contraption.
Right. So I could do like oh, right. It's a little too fast. So this is basically like doing the same thing as before, but now I'm arranging it a little bit more. This is obviously not the best way to do it, but right. So now I'm actually composing a little bit.
Yes, I think that's kind of a nice, quick way to get some kind of rhythm going.
And this is where the pass becomes very useful. There we go. Let me just flip this guy around. Because then we don't have to deal with all that crap. Then we can just like... Yeah, that's definitely a little bit more of a neat solution. And then we could also run it through. I mean,
Yeah, so the knob grid is definitely starts being more powerful once you start using it as a grid like the toggle grid. It can definitely start being more powerful because you can have more data next to each other.
Right. So we could disconnect these two. Let's say we just want to use an knob grid for this one. I hope I'm not blowing your ears off. I can't really hear the...
Let me just check the audio.
Right.
Are you... I'm not hearing much audio actually from the game right now.
Okay. Let me just try to tap this a couple of times. Should be able to hear it. With like a couple seconds of delay.
Yeah.
So this one is going to be outputting zeros and ones depending on these. These guys are toggles, by the way. So this is basically a boolean. So I guess a gate would be appropriate here. So we set the value, or basically we set the value that we want to pass, and then we set. So first we set here, and then we set here, and then we set here, and here. Mm-hmm. Can you help me out?
Yeah. So you just wanna, let's see. But you're just connecting this to one of the dispatch ones right now, right? So it's going quite slow.
Oh, I guess I don't even need to. Oh, right. I need to connect all these guys to the guy.
Well, or just go connect it from wherever that's coming from.
Oh, I don't even need the dispatch. Or
Yeah, you could just do it out of dispatch if you're going to use this guy.
Okay. Right, because I need the.
Because we're kind of using it for the same purpose as we were using the dispatch before, right?
Right. Well, I mean, we need to cycle through these guys. Right?
Oh, that's true, yes. So, okay, so we need another cycle counter. That's what we need.
Okay. Right, and that would be this guy.
No, one up.
This guy.
Yeah, that guy.
Oh, yeah, of course. Right, so we put this guy in here.
No, actually, that guy he sets, so the state of it. So you want to, yeah, that guy.
Right, the input. Right, and
Yeah,
then this
so-
guy.
So this guy he actually has 3 inputs. So one is the normal like count operation.
Yeah.
Then the one to the left right now it sets the current state of the counter, and then the bottom one it tells you when it's going to loop around again.
So it's this sets how when it resets, like just by itself. This sets this just gives it a new event, so it goes through the loop.
Yes.
And if you want to go into a specific place in the loop, let's say you have a bunch of them, you want to synchronize them, then you want to use this one, then you want to like connect to that one and put it there.
Precisely, yes.
Okay, cool. And so I should be getting the machine gun reaction from this guy again.
You're getting machine gun reaction.
Yeah, he's totally just firing all the time. But that's because I'm passing zeros and ones, so I need to gate this.
Yes. Yeah, so you can either use the gate or use the if-else again.
Right, I guess the if-else is... I kind of like the gate. I'm going to go with the gate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this to the value, and then I'm going to pass the value. and or pass the event, and then put this guy to this guy just for cleaning things up, and like this. I'm gonna throw this guy out. So if I connect this guy, right.
So now something I think is kind of cool with this is that we can, like with an upgrade, we can make more rows, right? So what we could do is we could predefine a few different rhythms.
Oh yeah, okay. So let me try to do this. That's like also like kind of a basic. Wait. Am I putting in too many? Yeah, I'm putting too many, like that. And so, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And I guess what would be cool is if we could go through all of them, like in sequence.
In sequence. Yeah, so then we just need to figure out when we're starting a new one.
Right. So that would be after 8 pulses. So we could actually just put an nth in there, yeah?
Yeah, we could do that, but then the end also has to be synchronized, so that's one more thing that could get its offset wrong.
So we could just grab the 7 here, or...
Yeah, I would just grab the 0, because then it stays correct if you resize it.
Okay, so I guess if we do a 0, then we're gonna...
So this should already do exactly what we want.
Okay, so we're gonna put this guy into the input of this guy.
Yeah.
And so this guy is like, if it's 0, it's gonna pulse for this guy. And so every time we pulse, we want to increment that guy.
Yes.
So for that, we could actually use a stream input, couldn't we? Or wait, no, we don't have. We couldn't. We're using. We're gonna add. We don't need an add no, because we can just use a.
We could use another cycle counter.
True.
We can also build a cycle counter out of an add and a modulo if we want.
Sure, let's do that. Is this one's the modulo?
Yes.
Right. So. How would you go about doing this? Every time it's 0.
Yeah, so I would say that the add, it's gonna hold the current state.
Yeah.
So then we just want to add 1 to the add.
To itself, right.
Yeah, so we just...
so we can see how this works.
Well, we just said that guy is gonna pass a 0, right? So that's not actually gonna increment it. So,
oh yeah, this guy's sending out a 0.
Yeah, so... No, but we want it to happen at 0. So that's good. I would set the compare back to 0 because we want it to happen on the first one, right? Otherwise, we're gonna always do it on the second one.
Right. Okay.
So, but now I think we just need a get, and then we just get 1.
Like that.
Yes, and then this goes into the add.
Like that. Oh, sorry. Like that.
Yes.
And that adds to itself.
Yeah. So if we add that to itself, then it's just going to steadily keep increasing.
Right.
But we want it to loop around at some point.
Yes.
So instead of directly going to itself, I think we first feed it through the modulo, and then from the modulo we connect back to setting the add. But now we're doing both. So just make the add not set itself first.
Ah, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, like this.
Can you explain the modulo for us mortals?
So if you divide one integer by another integer, so let's say that we're dividing 7 by 3, but we can only have integer numbers, then right, we just see how many times it fits. So twice 3 will be 6, and then we don't fit another 3, but we still have something left. right, we have 1 left to get to the 7. So this 1 is like it's the remainder after our integer division.
Okay, let's try to crank up the volume. Okay. So this has to be an 8. No, sorry. Okay, this should actually... Yeah, this should work. Yeah? Oh god.
What's up?
All right. So that, I guess that's kind of a cool sort of sequencer we also built here. That's sort of just a little bit more time sensitive.
Yes.
And I suppose we could send... I could hook this up to this one as well.
So if you guys have any questions or requests or anything, then feel very free to just let us know in the chat.
All right. Do you have any creative itch, Janmark, to build something, or?
Yeah, I would like to build something in a second. Just give me a second. There came a new question.
Okay.
Okay, so the comment is the new mobility feature is very nice. Would love the option to have the console display and object palette also move when dragging the environment around. So that's an interesting thought. I hadn't thought that you might want to do that. But maybe because we're still working on this logic a little bit, but maybe we can demo anchoring things.
Yeah. Definitely, I can definitely do that real quick. In case someone missed out on it, maybe it'll just be good to have a little demo of that. So there's in the blue menu, there's this guy, and this is your octopus. And the cool thing about the octopus is that he can grab things and move them around. So it's sort of a way of arranging your stuff. And we added a new feature to the octopus in the latest update. So when you hover over it, you can see it's got 2 icons here. You've got your scissors, which just untethers it, and then you've got the other button, which is like a little leaf, and when you push down that one, it grows the little roots, and you can move it around as normal, and all the things that are connected to it you can move around, but now you can also, it'll be rooted to your position. So I don't actually know if you can, like, yeah, you can't really do it the other way around for things that are, like, by default moving with you. But it's a good way, like, if you have some controls, you always want to have handy. Like, for me, I could imagine having a volume control, like, just in case things go really crazy, or like a switch I can flip, because sometimes I just start making some insane noise, and I just want to, like, a panic button, you know. But there's a lot of and we haven't really even like explored what we can do with that just yet, but we'd love to see how you guys use it for different ways.
Yeah, I can see some potential when your machines start getting bigger and bigger, that you could take some kind of interface with you while you're moving around, so you can keep testing it from wherever you are. But yeah, this logic is still quite new, so it still might change a little bit, and we'll definitely keep in mind that you would like the kind of the reverse option of leaving behind some of the objects that are coming with you right now.
Okay. I'm not sure I would call this music, but it's definitely there's a little bit more of a rhythm to it.
Cool.
Yeah, and it's always good to have everything running off, or you don't have to have everything running off the same metronome, because we do have HUD inputs for setting the phase of the metronome. But I feel like it's always nice to be able to have a global speed control, and if you want to do it in BPM, you simply just multiply by 60, right? Or so
I would divide.
Divide by 60, because we're working in seconds. So I don't know why I have this obsession of putting like I just for
Yeah, so I think the little knob thing, it doesn't add any functionality right now, but for us it's been nice to put in places to indicate that that's something that you're meant to be changing around. So it's just an indicator to show that there's a bit of an interface there.
Yeah. This could actually be a guy I would want to root in position, so I can just like add this little dude, connect to him, and route it back. So I can always just like what is a good 120 BPM is, I guess, pretty slow. We're still sort of exploring how MuX can be used in a live performance as opposed to just like experimenting and stuff. And I've actually tried to play live at our launch party. I got up and I tried to like do something in real time, and you have to pre-build some things, and you're sort of limited. But if you build a nice machine that has some nice controls and isn't too complicated, then you set yourself up for a lot of fun. So, yeah. Did you want to build something, Mark?
Sure, I can have a go.
Yeah, we could perhaps do chords or something. Or
Yes. Thanks. Wow, this is already becoming like a little bit complicated.
Yeah, I don't know, like if we should just clean it up, or you can just move out of the way, or I don't know. You can clear the scene if you want to.
No, I think we can keep going on top of it.
Yeah, but cable management starts and sort of arrangement skills starts becoming a relevant skill after a while.
Okay, so we kind of want to do something with chords, right? So, yeah. So I guess first we need something that could actually play the chords, because most of these sounds that we've been making, they can kind of only play one note at a time. So we're gonna need something that can that has a few more oscillators, so it can play a few more things. Let's see. Where am I in the room? Oh, okay. I don't know why the tracking is messing up out here.
The tracking's quite bad.
Yeah.
Today.
Okay, so in order to play chords, we need to add a bunch of things together and then kind of play them individually. So we could take like 6 of these guys. And then, so then I'm just gonna make like a very simple setup for each of them. So I would like to be able to change the amplitude. So I'm just gonna get some of these guys. And those are gonna be regulating some oscillators. And they're gonna be regulated by some decays. All right, so now if an event is sent, I want it to interact with one of these little setups. So I'm gonna need some of these guys to be able to direct my events. So these are all gonna be 4, 5, 6 long. So this guy, he's gonna be able to set the frequencies. And this one, he is going to be able to set to hit this decay. This, or well, I guess we don't need all of these. I'm thinking of a more complicated setup. So yeah, so mostly we're gonna just hit the frequency here, and then we are just gonna hit the decay like this. I'm just gonna position these.
Numeric Depiction says, I think the option, this is great, I think the options to unroot and root the display and object palette would be sometimes useful, especially when muxing while seated. So we haven't really been playing MuX or muxing. I think that's a great expression. Numeric.
Yes.
While seated here.
But that's a very interesting, an interesting thought.
Yeah, I would be interested in knowing how many people actually prefer to. I think we think it's fun to do it while walking around, but I can definitely.
But maybe
see
also
it,
we have the dedicated space. So maybe if you're just in your room at home, it's more common to do things seated.
So I can definitely see perhaps at some point we will. I think it's safe to say right now we are mostly like doing the room scale standing up thing, but it's good to hear that. Like also for extended sessions, it might get a little tiring.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so I'm changing my mind a little bit here. I'm gonna use the cycle version of this one instead of the regular version. And this one is gonna go in here. Okay, so now if I take something like this guy and I connect this one here, what will happen is this will cycle through these ones. Of course, we gotta actually connect it. But now the cool thing is that where before we could really only play one note at a time, and when we played another one, the first one would vanish. Now we can go.
That's very nice.
It's clipping a little bit because we're adding so many together. So I'm just gonna put this through kind of like a global multiplier.
Right, and that's because when you have a bunch of sounds stacking up top of each other, you start overdriving, oversteering. So you wanna limit if you have sort of a big bunch of generators, then you wanna compress them before putting them into the speaker.
Yeah, so in general, the speaker needs values between or in a range of -1 to 1, and that's also what the oscillators are outputting. So if you're adding more of them together, it's quite often useful to put like a multiplier at the end of them. So okay, so with this, we can start making some chords. So okay, so we mostly, I think we want to play some major and minor chords, and then we just want to define the bass key, right?
Yeah.
So
that's a good start.
I think what we might want to do is take another knob grid, and this one, he's gonna give us the shape of our chord. So they're both gonna start at 0, but then, right, this being, if this is the major chord, right, he's gonna go to 4, and then he's gonna go to 7. But this one, he's gonna go to 3, and then he's gonna go to 7. So, okay, so what we would like to do is have something that inputs the bass key for this. So we can say that this guy, he's gonna play chords. So then, ooh, sorry about that. Okay, so this guy, so we want to remember the bass key.
Oh God.
Yeah, that was quite bad. So we want to remember this bass key, so that then later we can add these to it. So what we would like is probably to have another one of. Ooh, apologies. Yeah, I really need to sit down and figure that one out. Okay, so this guy, he's gonna set the bass key, and then we're gonna go 0, 1, 2 over this, and then we'll add that back to the bass key, and then I guess we can just take this and put it here. And then we could make it minor if we want. So there we have a little chord thing going on. So then, Hannibal, how do you wanna elaborate on this?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of ways you could elaborate on that. You could make an entire directory of different kinds of chords. You could make chord progressions. I think it's quite cool. And you can of course use those values not just to play chords, but to do like a bunch of interesting procedural things, and like make music that sticks to the, not to just to the chord, but to the entire scale. We could do entire scales. It's just an overall it's really interesting to start playing around with intervals and scales and like music theory and things like that. And this is just something we've started to play around with recently.
Yeah, so we could we could do the instead of just having the chord, we could build the entire scale, and then use that to set some parameters based on the chord progression.
Yeah, that sounds
Okay.
pretty good.
Cool. Okay, so I'm gonna use this one for a major and a minor scale then. So in that case, right? So how did these look? So the first, so we go 2, and then we go another 2, then we go 1, then here's the triad, right? And then here, this is major, right?
I think so. Yeah.
So then, but then these are just the intervals. So we actually want to add these together. So this is going to be 5. This is going to be 7. This is going to be 9. This is going to be 11. And this is going to be 12. Okay, so then for minor, right, we go 2, then it's 1, then we get, I think this is minor, so this would be 3, 5, 7, 8, 10, 12. That looks okay to me.
It does look okay to me as well, but I don't remember specifically.
All right.
Let's
Well,
just,
maybe
we can hear it probably.
Yeah. So. Okay. So. Okay. So let's say. Right. We're doing something similar where we get in some kind of bass key, and then we would like to be able to set a whole bunch of things. So actually, I think I would like to just get the main chord out of this, for example. So we just want to read out what's here and then be able to feed it into something. So okay, so this guy, he's now of course gonna be at 8. So he's gonna go here, and then we're gonna add this, but then this guy, he is gonna be set up with
Yeah, that's a pretty nasty one.
For okay, so this one he's first gonna set this, then he's gonna fire here. Okay, so this should output the right thing. So then if we want the chord out of it, right, what we should be able to do is hook these guys up. So now, okay. Yeah, so now I get a nice chord over here.
Tritone chord.
And then if I change this, then, so this is 76 now. So then this one goes down, making it the minor chord.
Numeric depiction says, haha, I love the spawn bug noise. Okay, great.
Yeah, we should, yeah, maybe we can make a song around that at some point.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I love the sound bug noise, but like,
No, it's been like driving me a little bit crazy where that's coming from, because I had some ideas, but they were apparently wrong.
yeah, it
so-
has been quite consistent over the last like
Yeah.
has been here for quite a while.
So I don't know. Yeah, I thought it had something to do with our parallelization, but I don't think so. Like, I mean, it could of course be that I still have bugs in there, but I've changed that around quite a lot, and it's kind of stayed quite consistent.
Yeah.
So I think it's something else. Maybe somewhere there's some values that are not initialized. I don't know. It's like.
Hopefully, Janmark will catch those nasty bugs at some point.
Okay, so we want to have a little bit of a chord progression, right? So let's see. So we're gonna say whether it's major or minor, and then we're gonna have a tonic, right? So what's the nice simple chord progression to start with?
Well, yeah, I guess we can just start on a C major.
Yes. So C is 72, right? Oh wait,
Yeah.
I'm doing this the wrong way around. So we made 0 major, and then this is gonna be 72. Okay,
Right.
so I think that's C major. Yes.
Well, actually, yeah, we can start with the C major, and then we can go to A minor.
Okay, so that would be like 6. I'm doing this wrong way around again. Right, so we said 1 would be minor, and then we're putting this to 69, I think is A.
I would need to look that up. I can bring up a MIDI chart just so we don't screw it up. Then I guess you can jump over to a D minor.
To D minor?
Yeah.
All right, so minor. Go 73, yeah.
And then a G major.
Okay, so D, E, F, G. Okay, so I think that would be something like that. Okay, so then I would like to have that somehow fit with all of this. So let's see. We had, yeah, so over here, we're going to another one, right? So I'm just gonna steal this guy's event over here. Yeah.
Let me just see here. I think your MIDI values are a little screwed up.
I'm not surprised.
So you're good on your C, and then for your we went up to D.
We went C and then we went A, right?
Right, A minor. So A was your 69. You're good on that one, and then your D is 74, and then your G is the 79.
Oh yeah, of course.
Or you
Oh,
can
yeah,
go, or,
yeah,
60, or 67. Maybe you want to like jump down.
Oh, 67, yeah.
Yeah, let's do that.
Oh yeah, of course. I was thinking in steps from the tonic, but of course that's not like these need to be the semitone values. Okay, cool. Yeah, so then here we're gonna have a little county thingy. And those are gonna go here. And then another one of these. So that's gonna go here. He's gonna go there. So he's gonna go 1, 2. So then we're gonna need another one of these. This one, right? First need to say where it's gonna go. Then we send this guy. Then this one is gonna go here. And then 0 is gonna set major or minor. And 1 is gonna come through and actually set this. And then, okay, so now we can see here that our chord is updating.
Yep. Perfect.
Okay, so then we probably want to play the chord. So we could play around offsetting it a little bit.
Sure.
So what we could do, so maybe the first one we just want to go ahead and play it right away. So okay, so after we set all of this, I'm just gonna take another pass over here. So after that, we're actually gonna play this chord. So I'm just gonna play this one right away. But then I'm gonna take a little egg timer, and I think this should just be like a tenth of a second, maybe. I'm not sure. I can change it later. So, oh, oops! I deleted this over here. It's not good. Okay, so what was I saying? There was a little pass over there. What's up?
Oh, I'm just watching the whole thing with a delay, so
yes,
my comedic
that's quite
reactions are
confusing.
like-
Okay, so he will go over here, and then this will fire, and then we want another guy, and so then we'll fire here. And then these ones, they get to go over here. There we go. Maybe this could even be a bit shorter. I just want like a tiny bit offset.
There it is. I believe that is known as an arpeggio. You are arpeggiating the chord.
So that's the little bit of delay between?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
There, when you play the chord in sequence.
Cool. Okay, so I'm not that good at playing the piano, but I know, or because Hannibal told me that as long as I kind of stay within the chord, I can't fuck up too badly. So what I would like to do is make something that will just pretend that I know which keys I should hit. So I'm gonna take this guy, and I just want to make him like, no tracking, and I just want to make him like a little bit more friendly for just like hitting some keys. So, alright, so normally our keys are right. So we know if we just play on the white keys, we stay in C major. So this being my white keys, I just want to kind of reprogram my white keys. I'm just gonna take these guys away a little bit. I'm not like, oh, did I threw this whole thing out. He's gonna go here. Okay, so right, so I'm not like too interested in my black keys right now. So what I would like to do, wow, the tracking is bad. What's going on here? Well, like my hands are just going away from me.
The tracking for some reason is all over the place today.
Wow. Yeah, that's like exceptionally bad.
I think it's just stream lock. It knows that we're trying to show this to others.
Yeah, something like that. Okay, so yeah, let's just see if we can.
Oh god.
I'm just gonna see if we can make it work. My controller is about half a meter away from my hand right now.
I think you double connected one there.
Oh yeah, I think you're right.
This arpeggio is reminding me of the Dr. Dre song.
Yeah.
The one that's like. You don't know that one?
No, I'm not sure. You got it.
Still Dre or still Dr. Dre or something.
Okay. Can we do anything about this tracking? Let me just see if it gets better if I move somewhere else. Is it better over here? No. What is up with that?
Maybe you're yanking your cable or.
No, I don't think so. That's. Oh, okay. Okay, it came back a bit.
Okay.
Oh, maybe it was that? I don't know. No, it's still shit. Okay, well, whatever. We'll just make it work. So I'm gonna put this guy in here. Yeah, so I should just have not mentioned that I can't play the piano and just use this as an excuse. Right. Okay. So, okay. So right now we're getting some quite high tones, which is because. Okay, and now I lost visual.
Let's try to save and see if we can reload the scene or reload something.
Okay, yeah. Can you just give it a name?
It's called Splank.
Yeah, but can you just give it another name?
Yeah. Stream.
Okay, cool. Oh, no, okay, it's going everywhere. Okay, sorry, we're just gonna restart the game real quick.
Alright. MuX.exe. Or maybe I should have reset. Is tracking better?
Let's see.
I didn't reset SteamVR.
Well, it seems a bit better. Okay, let's just try.
Okay.
You gotta quit out of the info mode first. Okay, cool. So we're.
Oh god.
No, we just like went away again.
Oh god. If you're facing another direction, is it better? Like so that the other lighthouse can see you because you were body blocking that one.
Maybe. Okay, let's try like this. Okay, so as I was saying before, so right now I'm just setting the absolute keys that I want here. So that means that I need to set my base key to 0 over here.
Because you're sending the absolute.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So then. So you can see that we're kind of like automatically staying in key.
Yeah, that's nice. For if you just want to like, I think that's good for if you just want to improvise and you don't want to like screw everything up or be super accurate, or if you want to give it over to someone else and they just want to play around with it. So.
Yeah, or I think if you're using some kind of more chaotic input and you want to and you want to use that, maybe it's nice to filter it through something like this that kind of keeps it
Yeah.
a little bit nice.
Yeah. All right, that's very cool. We did a scene actually. We added to the demo folder that had some chords in it, right? Like.
Yes.
Because we're actually closing in on 2 hours of streaming, so I think it's soon time to wrap it up.
All right. So yeah, I think the tracking also thinks it's time to wrap up. It's like the world is just like going away from me.
Yeah, that's very appropriate. Okay. Well, then,
but we can quickly have a look at that one.
all right.
So let's just save this one.
Oh yeah. Alright.
Alright, so if we go back to the hub, then... Oh yeah, also, my stuff is just all the way over there. Oh wait, this is my hub folder, so wait, I just need to... This is the one we want.
Okay.
Yeah, so I have a local hub scene that's out of date. Okay, so over here we have a sort of similar setup. So you can see over here this knob grid, and what it represents is, so these are steps within a scale, and these are delay times. So we can just listen to what it sounds like if I hit play. So this is just like a very simple little melody, which you of course could change for something else. But then the cool thing is that I could, for example, hit minor over here. Or I could play it in a with a different tonic. And right, so what's going on is similar to what we had before, right? So, well, I guess we didn't show this. So here we're specifying how long it should take, right? Instead of depending on a metronome. So what we're doing is we're outputting this number, but then we're also setting this this timer. And after going through this, we then hit the timer with one more than our previous index. So we have this loop until we reach 16, and then we just stop. So if I hit play over here, then you can see that this guy is counting up, and this is showing how long until the next note. So then we get over here, and it needs to figure out where it needs to figure out in what octave we are. So that's why we are doing we're dividing by 7 over here and then rounding down. And then so there's 7 steps in our octave, but then there's 12 semitones. So then afterwards we multiply that by 12 to get the bass.
Middle of the piano, kind of.
Yeah, like the MIDI value representing the beginning of the octave that we're in.
Ah, yeah.
And then over here, right, we do a modulo 7. So we figure out where we are in the octave. And then over here, we're remapping that depending on whether we're in major or minor to get to the correct offsets within that. And then over here, we're adding that to this bass MIDI value. And then afterwards, we're adding that to our tonic, depending on which one we set over here. So the tonic is just the value that would be represented here as 0. And then we're sending that to this setup. That's yeah, we showed stuff like this before. So yeah, so we thought this one was quite neat. So we added it to the demo folders. So if you load the hub, or I can
Oh,
load
I
the
can
hub.
look up. Yeah, or do you have the button? Yeah.
Oh yeah, I have a button here. It's true. I can go to the hub. Then we added this one to the demo scenes. So that one's new. Yeah.
All right.
So should we?
Pretty good for now.
Cool.
So
yeah, it's been a pleasure. This was a lot of fun.
yes. Thank you guys, especially you, Numeric, for hanging out with us. It's been fun, and yeah, I think we could definitely do this again another time.
Yes. Should we do it next week same time?
Yes, I probably can't be here, but maybe one of the other ones from the development team could be here with you and do something else.
Okay, cool.
And we would really love to see what you guys can make in MuX. So if you have some crazy scene or you've built something really weird that you want us to take a look at, definitely just send it to us. You can save the scene and then find the MuX file in your documents folder.
Yeah, so it defaults to your My Documents folder, and then it just makes a MuX folder under that.
Yeah, so if you come up with something crazy you want us to take a look at it, definitely just send it our way. Maybe we can learn some more from that.
Yeah, definitely. That's one of the things that's very rewarding about this whole process, seeing what other people come up with.
Right. Okay. Thanks for this time, and happy MuXing, everyone.